Welcome, folks, to Championship Sunday here at the 2026 Colin Coleman U11 U13 competitive tournament. This is our last semifinal of the day. It's the U13AA division. We have the Western Valley Spartans, the #1 seed, facing the #4 seed, Sussex Rangers, here in the semifinal. And at the Avenir Center, it's the Shediac Predators and the Louisville Lightning.
And the Sussex Rangers, they come in shooting an absolute blank yesterday. 0-0 against Oramakto. Both goalies getting a shutout. But they get that tie for 1 point. And they squeak their way in to the 4th seed, where they take on a strong Western Valley team. Right off the draw now. It's the Spartans that bring it in. Walking in, they might have a chance here to start it off. Here's McIvory with the shot that just misses. Behind the net now in the backhand, trying to go right out into the slot. It's the Rangers that take over. The neutral end now. They go rink wide. Stepping in, trying to get a shot off. Here's McLaughlin putting it to the net. And that one turned away there by Oliver. Going back the other way, it's Hopkins. Skating with that Hopkins. Will dump it in before going for a change. Picking up behind the net is Protractor. Gets flipped in behind the net. Proctor up the wall again. Held in. Just 1 minute gone now in the period. Still no whistles. Spartans out to center. A little flip over to the opposite side. It's Sherman that tries to bring it in there for the Spartans. Just unable to do so. On the middle, the Rangers cutting in. Taken away by Sherman on defense. Theodore Sherman on the backhand. Waiting, trying to go up high. Sherman again going cross ice. Crockett tried to spring that one up for Conrad. Still in the neutral zone. Walking in there was a Ranger that had gone falling down. It was Neal that was unable to pick that one up. Spartans back the other way. Up with speed there. The shot blocked in there. Rangers back up the left wing. Back with it for the Spartans. Here's Veron. He goes up the right wing. He hits the brakes now as it's dumped into the zone. Regathering for the Rangers. It's Greg going behind the net, trying to wire that one around over for Tabor. Greg in the corner. Waiting, throwing that one up, a one-timer towards the net. That one redirected by Nolan Anderson, who has the start in the net here for Sussex. Cleared all the way down the ice. This one's just going to miss goaltender Oliver for a stoppage. 9.5 to go in period 1. Nine and a half left to go in period 1. Taken out here by the Rangers. They go up the right wing with speed. There's a shot that'll miss the cage of Oliver, coming to rest behind. Regather up here by Veron. Veron with pressure. Has to flip it over to Crockett. Crockett taken down. Believe that was Cunningham with the body there. His shot saved. A good effort there from Caden Oliver. Having to resist a quick shot on net from the captain, Jay Cunningham. As he picks it up in the corner and he just lets one go. Quickly off the face-off. It was jammed up there. Back on defense, Garby. Up the wall to the line. Cunningham. Move down. Travis. Skating around with it. Travis back with it in the corner, trying to truck that one out in front. That was picked and stolen. Vardy having to turn around. Travis again. Waiting in the corner. Pinned up by Garby. Trying to go up. There's a quick shot from the corner. That one will be redirected up to the blue line where it's poked down there by Merrill. Butcher waiting in the corner. Out in front of the slot. Couldn't quite hit Travis, who now finds it in the corner. Travis behind the net. Butcher waits to the middle. Travis backhand. Couldn't quite get that one on net. That was redirected out in front. McIvory up to the blue line. Sent high and in by Cunningham. Back for Travis. Travis circling. Back. One touch pass. Travis trying to jam it in. It's to the side of the net now where he is shoved. The goalie, Oliver, is down. I believe that could have been some friendly fire, however, as Conrad now goes back the other way, leaving that one up. McIvory, he lets one go. Now that one over the net. Behind the net, battling. Proctor. He ends up going that one over the wall. Back on the fence, flipped high. Now it's taken in the middle by Cunningham. Cunningham working up, he'll flip this one in on Oliver. He'll hold and cover, or he will play that out as he's got 3 Spartans in his own end while all the Sussex players are going for changes. Conrad in the zone, head manning the puck. Crockett stepping in, gets poke checked. Conrad in on the trailer, waiting, cutting to the net, trying to get a shot off, and he can't. Back on the fence, shot in by the Spartans. It's Greg recovering for the D there for the Rangers. Through center. No one there, and it's picked and stolen, walking in. Here's the shot, they score! Emmett Tabor picking that one off at center, right in the blue line, and then going to the top shelf. It's 98 that gets the icebreaker for the Rangers here in this one. And what a steal on defense. And the Rangers go up 1-0. Here in this one. Poked loose at center. Walking in there's Crockett. Crockett skating wide. Waiting, shooting, and lifts that one over the net. Lennon Crockett, MVP of the last game that the Rangers played. And he was huge in the last game against the Louisville Lightning to secure first place in the U13AA conference. Rangers dump it in the corner. First one on it here is Tabor. Tabor hit against the boards. Down on one knee. Around the net. Looking, there's McLaughlin to the side of the net. McLaughlin waiting. Picked and stolen. Spartans go down the other way. Pass up through center, and that one just misses Crockett, going all the way back down the ice. Proctor waiting there for it. Looking behind the net now. Taken by the Rangers. Spartans trying to take possession now. Flipped up the center. Spartans work their way in as it's sent cross ice. Crockett moving his way in. His stick flies out of his hand. They'll have to go get it on the ground. Meanwhile, the Spartans still in the zone. Working around in the corner. Top of the blue line. Back down into the zone. McLaughlin to the blue line in the middle now. Taken away by Garby, excuse me, as he brings another zone. Quick shot turned away by Anderson. Getting down close to 5 to go in period 1. A quick start to this game. Sussex up by a score of 1-0. And here they are bringing it back in. Travis to the middle. His pass redirected off the stick of Cunningham. It sounded like fans wanted a penalty on that. Cunningham going behind the net. Travis waits, stops, looks out in front. Can't quite do it. Spins this time, and that one comes to rest at the side of the net, where it's taken away by Hopkins. working up with speed. Now trying to cut in, it's Davis working in, falls down the trailer. McIvory lets one go and just misses the net. That one not missing by too much as it now stops in at the blue line. Davis in the corner, waits to the net, and that one almost taken a bad redirection, but it finds its way into the corner. Behind the net, taken by Greg. Greg up there to Proctor. Proctor throwing that one across, unable to hit his target. I believe that was Tabor who he was looking for. Back in the D. Sherman waiting out here. Going into the zone now. It's the Rangers that recover. Shot in here by Tabor. In the corner, it's Garby. Or that's Sherman rather, picking it up, going up against the boards. Stopped in at the line by Greg before going for a change. Right out in front, hits the side of the net. Another try. Oliver down. And that one going to be covered as we get to less than 3.5 to go in period one, as we're going to have another look at it. As that one again somehow stays out. A good play by Oliver on that one to keep it out of the net. Go 5-on-5. Working behind the net. Emmett Tabor out in front. Side of the net now off the post. That's redirected right into the slot. But Fahy is able to get to that one and send it out into the middle. Working across there. It's carried in. Sherman waits. Stops. Passes that one up. Over for Conrad. Conrad's getting the blue line. A nice couple moves. Conrad still in with it. Cutting to the net now. Solomon Conrad lets one go. Saved by Anderson. And Anderson finally getting some action. And that was a dangerous shot right out in front. Offensive zone draw now for the Spartans. Less than 3 to go. Quick shot from the blue line. And that was blocked before he could get to the net. Went around the cage now. It's Greg. Bringing his way around. Stopped in at the blue line. Cooper Gregg. Turning and spinning in the corner. Gregg up high for Parker McLaughlin. They get it out here. Potential breakaway. Good job getting back on defense. Trying to pinpoint exactly who that is. That looks to be Gavin Varon, potentially saving a breakaway. We're just jamming out the center. That one carried in offside. U13AA. The other semifinal happening at the Avenir Center in half an hour. It's the Shediac Predators and the Louisville Lightning. They're playing at the home of the Moncton Wildcats in the 2 versus 3 seed semifinal. 4 versus 1 seed here on MST. It's shot back by Varon. The quick shot there from Oliver almost mishandles it, but gets enough to redirect it perfectly into the corner. Travis trying to steal. Finds his way out into the center. Shot back in by the Rangers. We get down to less than 2. Varon working up through the zone. Gavin Varon continues with possession. Moving up the right wing. Stick lifted there by Merrill. There's a quick shot that just lifts over the cage. Stopping at the blue line. Here's another try. Save made by Anderson. The rebound on the backhand. I believe that was Crockett trying to look for it. Unable to jam it home. Shot in by the Rangers. They're going to look to get some changes here as we get down to 1.5 minutes. Picked up and taken behind the net by Garby. Tossing that one up along the right wing. That one redirected off the stick of Crockett and taken by the Rangers. Cleared back into the zone. Delayed icing there. And it will go. At just over 1 minute remaining in the first period, the Rangers with the only goal so far. And that was Emmett Tabor with the only goal thus far. And here's the face-off. It's tied up. Off the time, it's Neal that takes it for the Rangers. They'll move it up through center, and there's a collision happening where the Spartans will take over. Garby through his own end. Skating up, Evan Garby still with it, trying to find room. There's the shot saved by Anderson. Didn't know where the rebound was. It dropped down right next to him. Greg around the boards. Rangers try to fortify. One last rush. Drop pass, no one there. So it's cleared off to the opposite wing for the Spartans. Moving back in the zone, it's Rhett Proctor. Going around the net. Wait. Trying to grab the loose puck in the neutral end. Has his stick tied up. Now finds its way over and across. Working his way back up, Jude McIvory. That one picked and stolen. Travis heading back the other way for the Rangers. Travis headed in. Poke check. He's now dug into the boards. Getting pinned there, taken by Sherman. Sherman being chased by Butcher. Butcher able to take over. Butcher the backhand. Trying to go up to the high slot. Waiting there was Cunningham. But there the buzzer's going to hit all zeros. That's the end of our first period here on MSD. It's Brandon Lane from the K of the 2026 Colin Coleman U11 U13 competitive tournament. And we get set back for period two. Still 1-0 in favor of the Sussex Rangers. And a quick icing there will stop the play at 11:52. Go back into the zone of the Rangers. Surratt going to give a tap onto the pads of his goaltender before moving on to the right wing. And that face-off not done up properly. Cunningham's going to get kicked out of the draw. And he will here in 2 seconds. Now finally being directed out. Confusion happening as Cunningham does not leave the draw. Here he finally leaves, and it's Felix Travis in to take his spot. Travis wins. Surratt will poke it down behind his net. Shea Surratt with it now. Waits. Cuts back behind his net. Needs to move it quickly. Had a bunch of pressure up and coming. Travis on the far boards now. Winning this one in the zone. Up to the blue line. It's the Spartans that try to bring it in the corner. The Rangers trying to move it in front. They have it in the offensive zone to the line. Surratt waiting, letting one go, and that was blocked right in front of him. That's how you use your head, getting the block on the helmet. Skating back with it is Conrad. Conrad shoving that one across to Gallant. Got all the way back down by the Rangers for a quick stoppage. Just over 11 to go in period two. And a great game to watch. There's all-star linesman Liam Sadler picking up the puck and going down to the opposite end of the ice. To the left of Anderson now. Face off. Won by the Rangers as it went to the blue line but took a weird bounce. Here's Parker McLaughlin. Skating it up for Sussex. McLaughlin fires to a pair of feet, and that one saved and turned away by Oliver in the net. Rangers keeping the line. Here's another try, and that one's just going to skate wide of Oliver in the net. Another one put to the side of the net. A bit of a jam for it initially to the blue line. Shot in by Greg. Greg around the net. Picked up by Wesley Tabor right out in front. Oliver there in the cover. Bit of shoving after the whistle. And could keep an eye on that later. Things might get heated as here's the initial shot from Parker McLaughlin, getting a good one on net. But it's turned away by Oliver. And there's a quick shot, that one off the post. What a quick shot off the draw. The Rangers applying huge pressure here this morning at the K. And they've come to play so far. Attempted dump in by Surratt. Line back in and back in. Looking for it, there's Emmett Tabor. Tabor to the net, bouncing puck, trying to jam at it there. And another good chance by the Rangers. And just what pressure they've been able to establish on a team that is currently undefeated as of right now. Spartans looking with it. Surratt down in the corner. Being pinned. Taken up. It's ramped off the boards. Barely held in at the line. Spartans regroup. They'll try going the other direction. Good hand-eye coordination. And this one won't be high stakes as it's touched up by Surratt. Jude McKinley getting a stick up in the air to deflect that one down. Spartans may have a chance to go the other way. Loose puck, bring it in. McKinley. That's taken by Surratt and rotated behind the net. Surratt waiting, taken by McKinley. He gets in the way. McKinley looking out in front. Shot to the line, waiting. Here's a shot. Deflected right to the side of the net. They jam at it. Loose. Still, it's in the pad of Anderson. And shot and held in at the line. Another good heads-up play. The shot caught down by Anderson. It was going over the net anyway, I do believe. But Nolan Anderson putting on an absolute clinic in net right now. And here was the most dangerous chance of them all. Deflected. And the Spartans jam at it right in front. And how does that not go in? Spartans now getting some momentum going. Shot from the blue line. That doesn't get there. That was Conrad that was looking for it out in front. The side there. That was Proctor trying to get it out. This does eventually get outside the zone. Some nice moves by Sherman on defense. Proctor, he'll unwind and let one go. And this one looks to be called icing. Going against the Rangers, so face-off will head back to the opposite end of the ice. O'Brien versus Cunningham in the face-off. Out won by O'Brien. At the line, shot across by Chipman. Now put back up to the line, waiting right there was Travis. Read the play perfectly as Travis now uses his speed, gets into the zone, gets tied up as they go into the corner. Travis and Surratt down there. Forwards back up to Crockett. Crockett using his speed. He gets shoved off, taken away there by Proctor. Proctor, Travis, putting it to the net. That one blocked off a shin pad. The Spartans go back the other way. Less than 8 to go in period 2. Walking across the blue line, there's the shot. Patted away by Anderson. He had to react pretty quickly onto that one. And here's a trip coming up against the Rangers. And we are going to have a Spartans power play coming up, our first of the game. And a trip there from Rhett Proctor will send the Spartans on the power play. And definitely not on purpose. but definitely a trip nonetheless. Well, the Spartans with their first power play opportunity as it's quickly deflected outside the zone, picked up by Emmett Tabor. Tabor moving up in the blue line. Tabor steps in along the right side. Tabor, sharp angle shot. And that one, I don't believe, got on the net of Oliver as the Spartans now head back the other direction with steam now. On the power play, they find their way in. What a move to the backhand. And a great defensive play. Shea Surratt able to defend his man behind the net. Gallant looking up top to the blue line. It's deflected. Tabor looking for it. This one's barely kept in. They'll go across. Conrad makes a nice move to get down into the corner. Sullivan Conrad waits, hits the brakes, given a shove. It still continues. Conrad waits. Poke check there by Tabor. Going behind the net. Crockett unable to get to that one. Surratt against the boards. Held in. There's a bump given there by Vardy. This one will go all the way down the ice. Veron having to reset now for the Spartans. Lead pass up for Crockett. Or that's Gallant rather moving in, sending that one across. To the line, Sherman waits, a good D-to-D pass. Vardy trying to step in with it. Has a lot of room. Vardy, the shot, turned away by Anderson. As that was a dangerous chance. Vardy had a path to walk right down Broadway and get a shot off. Cunningham will send that one the length of the ice. Under 30 seconds to go now in the second period. Pass up. Good deflection right to the middle. Winding in there was Fahy. He was unable to get a shot off. This one's flipped high and into the neutral zone. Spartans bring this one in. Less than 10 seconds left. There's the shot. Anderson's on that one for the save. Stopping the play. Just a couple seconds left on the man advantage for the Spartans here. And the Rangers trying to make some last second changes. Official's not going to allow that. Face off one by Trombo. Up to the line. Put back in. Power play now expired. Working up, here's Tabor with Proctor's just out of the box. Emmett Tabor. Hit against the boards, taken by the Spartans behind the net. Spartans try to get a clear going. It's shot back in by Gregg. They pin each other down deep into the corner, going around the net. Tabor throwing that one out in front. Side of the net, it stopped there for a second. But back come the Spartans. Sherman passing that one through center. The drop pass there, they enter in smoothly. Here's a perfect drop pass, and there was Hopkins who couldn't quite get the shot off in time. Less than 5 to go. Proctor again into the zone. He was out muscled off the puck. Tabor, and there as well as they go behind the net, stopping, trying to maneuver that one out in front. To the line, waiting, there's a shot from Gregg. And that one didn't have much on it, missed the net. Here's a pass up to the slot that goes up to the blue line, but it's redirected out in the center. Gregg moving back for it for the Rangers. In reverse, trying to turn and spin. He has his pocket picked. O'Brien trying to go to the blue line. There's no one there. Definitely wanted someone to be there. Now it's a breakaway back the other way. Emmett Tabor, the shot turned away by Oliver, and the rebound is still there. They jam away at it, and oh my, what a huge shove as 3 Spartans used all the force to jump on top of a Ranger right in front of the net. We got some fireworks here on a Sunday afternoon.
We're taking things back to some old-time hockey here with some fights and scrums after whistles. This game getting chippy real quick here. We're only in the second period.
And here's the chance. A pass from the blue line. Emmett Tabor was found all alone. We are going to get a penalty up here. The Spartans don't like it. It's Boone Anderson. It's the Rangers that I believe will see a power play up in here. Doesn't seem to be a Ranger in the box, and it's going to be a 4-minute. So it looks like it's a double minor for head contact, giving the Rangers a huge chance to capitalize in the second period. And the Spartans had 5 players on the ice. They're shorthanded. A huge opportunity here. Yeah, the shot from the line. Surratt, that one was blocked. Back the other way. Neal. Pass getting into the zone. Proctor stepping in. Attempted shot. He had 3 Spartans on him. This one launched all the way down the ice. And in their last game, it was Crockett on the penalty kill who got the Spartans on the board shorthanded. And here he is again, looking to do some more damage. Brought up here by Greg. Excuse me, that's Emmett Tabor stepping up. Tabor trying to go behind the net. Loses possession and down to the blue line it'll go, but it's kicked in there by Proctor to keep the zone. Rangers still with it. Cunningham, he shoots from the top of the circle and was blocked, and down into the neutral ice it will go. Skated back in by Proctor, but he's in way offside. His team was trying to get some changes and didn't work out with the benches here at the K. Cleared back in for the Rangers. It's Anderson that deflects that one off the boards. In the corner. Picked up here by Proctor as he tries to spring his man. Working up here is Butcher. Walking in. Butcher the shot. Tried to go to the top corner, and that was reached out by the glove Oliver to deny that one. Cleared back to the opposite direction. The Spartans doing a magnificent job so far in this penalty kill. And having to kill a lot more of it. 2.5 still to go. Butcher behind the net, trying to evade Conrad. Now gets on to McKinley, who gives him a lot of trouble. Conrad trying to pick it up here. It's in his feet. Conrad still with it, or he's out muscled off the puck. Butcher behind the net. There over for Proctor, taken by Butcher. The pass, lead there for Greg. Greg taken right back to the Spartans defense, and that one cleared into the zone. Again, the Spartans going to do a great job on this penalty kill. And looks like it's a hand pass going against Sussex. The faceoff will go outside their zone. Rangers at the blue line. They bring it in here, McLaughlin. Move this one into the zone. There's a Spartan that's pinned against the boards. It's a 2 against 2. One Spartan down. Hard to see exactly who's in there. There's Park McLaughlin of the Rangers, though. Puck comes free, and this one's slapped down the ice, and that one hits Crocker right in the head, I believe. Some friendly fire. This one goes along the boards. Shove given there by Cunningham. This one found against the boards. Shoving right against the timekeeper's box in the neutral end. Brought in by DeMerchant. DeMerchant stepping in. Has it stolen as now the puck goes behind the net. And this one's flipped high. Caught down at the line by Surratt, but he's just unable to hold it. Cunningham shooting this one into the zone. Will not be called icing. Spartans back with it, and down the ice it'll go. Less than a minute to go on their lengthy man advantage now. They've only managed to get 1 or 2 shots on net. McLaughlin stepping in. There's a shot that's turned away by Oliver and redirected into the corner. Rangers in the corner. Wraparound attempt on Oliver, and the rebound was shoved just high. Right side of the net looking. There's the shot. Save. That now goes up to the ringette line. Turnaround shot from Cunningham. He scores! And that won't go unnoticed. But there's a quick turnaround shot. Oliver not even expecting it. So the Rangers go up 2-0 in the final minute of this period. Just 34.9 to go. Face-off won by the Rangers. Cohen Butcher bringing it in. Shoveling that one across. Couldn't get that one to connect rink wide. Rangers in the corner behind the net. Still in the offensive zone. They've played an amazing game so far. They have found themselves up 2-0. And just recently capitalized on the power play. Butcher down low. Back for Travis now. And couldn't find anyone in the slot there as it's brought out by the Spartans out in the center, but not before the buzzer hit 0 to end our second period. 2-0 Rangers after 1. Goals from Emmett Tabor and most recently Jay Cunningham on the power play. Bringing the lane, Gio Aragon. K Arena 2026 Colin Coleman U11 U13 competitive tournament. It's the semifinals in the U13AA division on Championship Sunday. And a quick start to our third period as the Rangers bring it back in. Along the right wing, behind the net. Stopping behind the net, Tabor up to the line. There's a slap shot blocked by McKinley. And that was an absolute ripper from Austin Matthews, or Cooper Gregg, excuse me, as the Spartans go back the other way. They work in the offensive zone, barely trapped in at the line. Going back, it's Proctor. Around the net, McKinley in the corner, waits out in front, high slot, the shot, and that was blocked before you get to Anderson. I don't believe he would have seen it. Too many bodies out there in front. Shipman tried to go along the boards. There's a shot in there from Sussex that'll miss wide. Stopping in the corner, Vardy around the boards. A good outlet pass on to McKinley from Davis. The Rangers, they bring it back in. They'll dump it in the opposite corner. That was McLaughlin in doing so. Spartans in their own defensive end. Walking out of the zone is Hayden. Hayden still trying to cut in. The puck stops at the blue line. There's a Ranger down on the ice trying to play it. This one ends up back at the Western Valley blue line. To the neutral zone now. Cross ice pass taken away by Wesley Tabor. Over to McLaughlin now as he brings it into the zone. McLaughlin in the corner, throwing that one out in front. Bouncing puck to the side of the net. Recovered by Hayden and thrown around. Hayden on his backhand, trying to lift that one up. Work to the blue line. Now skating to the opposite side. Crockett trying to bring it in. Lennon, Crockett waiting, firing, just missing wide. 2-0 game in favor. There was a Ranger that went hard into the boards. I believe he just lost an edge behind the net. Backhand. Spartans try to set something up at the line. Taken here, walking in. There's the shot that just goes over the glass. Or over the net, into the glass rather. The Spartans barely are able to hold that one in. Rangers wanted to rush there. Another try that just goes over the net. The Spartans getting some momentum and a lot of it here in the third period. Around the net, Surratt going around the board, stopping. Held in at the line. Waiting at the hash marks, put to the net. Another good save by Anderson. Working in, Crockett trying to go to the line, and that one's outside. The Spartans will have to reset. The Rangers getting a bunch of changes. Here's a little spring pass. Poke check, Crockett coming up from behind, trying to poke that one off of Cunningham. Back in the zone. Waiting here, it's Sherman going around the board, stopped in Cunningham. Cunningham waiting on the backhand. Flipped, stopped. They try to poke that one out in front. This one's taken away by Conrad as he gains speed up the right wing. Conrad getting around one. Conrad to the middle, trying to get the backhand off, and that one slid off his blade before he could do so. Back in the net now. Trying to turn around. Good pressure from Proctor as they go into the boards. Proctor now falling, having to get up. Bit of rough stuff happening in the corner. Burns around Proctor again, falling down, putting pressure on the puck meanwhile. Tying up a Spartan. Still in the offensive zone. Lots of time on attack for Western Valley to start off this third period. It'll be redirected by the Rangers. A rolling puck. This one might go for icing, or it will not. Waved off there by the linesman. Here's Sherman in the corner. Recovering. Stretches his man. Works in the neutral zone. In the middle of the pass, and they can't quite get that one on net. Travis. Picking that one up at the blue line. Still working in. Felix Travis cutting in sharply. Trying to go upstairs. Fakes the shot. Around the net. Still with it. Out in front. Tabor trying to put it in. That one saved. I believe that's our first whistle of the third period.
Spartans here starting to play with more and more desperation as they find themselves down 2 goals. 7:40 left here. Not much time left for the Spartans to come back here. As we said earlier in the broadcast, they were the #1 seed, and they find themselves down 2 goals to the #4 seed. A spot in the championship on the line here.
But it goes without saying, they've been playing an amazing third period thus far. They just haven't been able to get it past Anderson, who's played absolutely stellar tonight in the Sussex netminder. Travis poked that one. Trembo back to Travis. He'll dump that one in with a little flip. Finding it in the corner. Turning around there is Garby. On the boards, McKinley. McKinley, the little flip. Draw it in. Delayed offside. Giving a bit of time for the Spartans to reset here. Garby, the little pass up. Move down and a whistle for, I believe, a delayed offside, so the faceoff will go into the Sussex end. I'd like to acknowledge the current 40 watching along with us. And in the comments live, tell us where you're listening from. We'd love to hear from you here on this Sunday morning, getting into the afternoon championship Sunday on the 2026 Colin Coleman between the Western Valley Spartans and the Sussex Rangers here in MST as the Spartans bringing him with speed. There's a quick shot. Anderson will paddle that one away into the corner. Regathered there as they battle for it. Greg there for the Rangers. Multiple Spartans down. There's a quick shot on Anderson. The rebound is sent just past the blue line and outside the zone. Skating back for it. Working his way up there is Garby. Garby through a couple. Evan Garby still with it. Cutting to the left now with speed. Garby, the shot over the net. Or into the glove, rather, of Anderson. He somehow gets that. And what a save, Nolan Anderson. Been absolutely insane this morning, as Garby just can't believe it. We're going to have two players going to the box here. Looks like it's Declan O'Brien and Rhett Proctor for their respective teams, and these are going to be coincidental roughings. Offensive zone draw for the Spartans. Behind the net, Greg around the boards. Butcher with it to the middle, taken over, backhander towards the net. Didn't get there. This one will be captured in at the line. Flipped into the corner. Working his way down there is Fahy, trying to go up top. That one picked off, and the Rangers go back the other way. Working up with speed. There's a collision given there. On defense, a good play by Veron to stop that, but we have a penalty coming up here. Couldn't tell exactly what happened on the near boards there. A tough angle, but it looks like we're going to have a Rangers power play. It's going to be interference against the Spartans. Right against the board there, kind of hard to tell. The Rangers will head to the power play. They try to get some insurance markers here in this one.
Just under half of the final period left to play here. Sussex still up 2-0, and the Spartans taking a devastating penalty here. This is not the time to take a undisciplined penalty, but like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. See what happens here.
The only thing in favor of the Spartans right now, they've had a pretty good penalty kill throughout this tournament. Other than the last one when they gave up the power play goal right at the end, they've been able to get a lot of shorthanded goals. There was a quick shot on Anderson with a good save. Almost won there. Sullivan Conrad almost went end to end. The Rangers will grab this one, dump it in. Behind the net, Oliver now comes to rest. Vardy trying to clear, blocked in. There's the shot. Oliver able to grab that one with the glove to stop play. And a quick shot. Turnaround one there. Oliver able to stand tall and reject that one. A 5-on-4 power play for the Rangers as of right now. Just over 5 to go in period 3. Sherman throwing that one against the wall. McKinley was looking after it. Here's a quick shot off a blocker there. Butcher. Below the net, Travis waits, turns, spins, hits against the board. Looking after it there is Garby. That was blocked in at the line. Cleared down, Butcher. Waits, Travis across. Tried to get that one out in front. He was hit there. Travis in the crease, the shot, the save, the rebound. It's right in the blue paint. And shot out towards the blue line, walking in. Shea Surt, the shot. Another good save by Oliver, right out in front side of the net. Travis getting off the back of the net now. Throwing that one up top. Tried to get that to the top of the circle. This one's out of the zone, but we have a trip here against the Rangers. And a good job getting the penalty drawn there by McKinley. We'll head to some 4-on-4. And that'll be for about 40 seconds, and then we'll have a Western Valley power play. Just under 4.5. Spartans need 2 quick ones. It's definitely happened so far in this tournament. And they look for that to happen again. There's a quick icing. We'll try this one again at the opposite side of the ice. Face off over to the left of Anderson. Won by the Spartans. They start it up. Sherman has some room, lets one go, the save, and the rebound is carried out into the corner to the line. It's barely blocked in. A good job on defense there behind the net. Surratt waits, goes up with the pass for Tremblett. Tremblett across. Skating in with it, here's Cunningham to the net now. That one taken away. There was Sherman, a pass across to Hayden. Hayden stepping in, has a bit of room. Hayden, the shot, scores!
What a goal, bar down.
Briar Hayden gets the Spartans to within 1 on the 4-on-4, and that one I believe is going to count as a power play goal. They had just gone on that one. So make this now that much more interesting, 2-1. As Hayden just stepped in, and what an absolute ripper.
A timeout called by the Spartans. Both teams regrouping strategy.
Just under 4 to go. 2-1 game now. It just got that much more intense in this arena right now. 1-goal game. Varon behind the net. It's in his feet. Jamming away at it is Cunningham. Cunningham posted into the corner. Varon looking for it there. It's taken out by Fahy as he sends that one over to Conrad. Conrad with speed to the neutral zone. Gets it back after it was whacked off his stick. Vardy back to the line, waiting. Chip down. Here's Davis, or Travis, excuse me. Right against the wall where the puck was taken from him. Leaded by the Spartans. Skating back for that is Proctor. Proctor to center. Working in. Spartans come in. There's a shot through traffic that was blocked. The whole bench and the crowd wanted a penalty on that, but they didn't get it. Just under 3 to go now. Spartans to the middle. There's the shot that just misses the net. Everyone had about the same reaction in the crowd. And this one's just outside the blue line now in the neutral ice. Rangers flip this one in. Next to the net of Oliver. We'll have to watch for him as he's probably about to leave the net soon. Just 2 minutes left to go. We'll see how early they pull him. Conrad brings it up, loses control. Sends it on to the right side. There was a collision right in open ice. And what has been a great low-scoring affair so far. Stretch pass, tipped. This one will not be icing. into the zone. Fighting for it, there's Tremblett. Gathering it, there's Garby. Garby pinned in the corner. It's dug out there by Hayden. He has the goal for the Spartans. McKinley out to center, shot in. Redirected into the corner by Oliver. Just about a minute and a half here to go still at the K. Sherman waiting. He gets knocked over. Tremblett putting it behind the cage. Just trying to stall time. And that one, the stick came out of the hands of Garby. There's a quick shot, and Oliver turns that one away. Hayden forcing his man into the corner, taken back by Sherman.
Sussex showing off a masterclass in forechecking. Their pressure building to be a lot, and here come the Spartans.
And after being in the defense zone for a while, it's McKinley that starts the rush. Goaltender Oliver going to the bench. There he waits he waits at the ringette line. And there we go, he now goes in, and that's gonna be too many men. Oh no.
A miscommunication on the bench leads to a penalty.
Hayden Oliver waited at the ringette line, was not sure to go into the bench, and they sent the extra attacker on early. And what a terrible time for a miscommunication like that to send the Rangers to the power play with less than a minute left.
I believe it'll be even strength.
Or is this even strength? They put... Or I guess they're not calling a penalty here. They definitely did have too many men, though, for at least a little bit. Conrad skating back. They're going to try to pull the goalie here, and they will. There's a shot that just goes wide. Empty net now for the Spartans. They try to go up top. Regathered. The shot towards the empty cage. That one looks just to be missing. So it's icing against the Rangers. 2-1 game. Empty net for the Spartans. So 6-on-5 now. There we go. We get the puck drop. Spartans win the draw. Trying to pass that one to the middle. Taken away. And now a Ranger has his pocket picked. They try to send that one to the middle. That one off a skate. They're going to try for the empty net. This one's gloved and tipped. And a hand pass going to have to be called on that one. So that might be the end. The Spartans don't like it, but definitely is a hand pass. And they're going to have to get some miracle, go down in 12 seconds, and put one in the net. It's dropped. They win the draw. It goes in behind. They'll have to make some quick work. Working, there's a pass. McKinley leaving that one off. They work their way in. McKinley gonna have to turn and shoot. There it is, and the shot bouncing, and there's a save from Anderson, and the Rangers will play in the finals later today. Make that at 4:30, and they will take on the winner of Shediac and Louisville.
For our last semifinal, we have our first upset. The number 4 seed taking out the number 1 seed. What a game. After this, it's 4 straight finals. After this, it's the U11B coming right up here on MSD.
You're not going to want to miss those, including the handout of the gold and silver medals. Braden Lane, Dio Aragon, K Arena. 2026 Colin Coleman. And what a game this was. One goal decided all of it. A great pushback from the Spartans. This ultimately ends it for them. Sussex against Shediac or Louisville coming up at 4:30 in the U13AA finals.